Well, hey, Christy from Junk Journal Boss here. I am hopping into a stream today because I was visiting a friend's live stream, and one of the lovely ladies asked me if I could let her know how to use broken jewelry or vintage jewelry, for your junk journals. So I wanted to go over a few things that I've done, and then I'll just go ahead and, have a playtime that you can hang out or whatever. So, some of the jewelry that I have, let's see, I took a bunch of it out, is really kind of ugly, like this right here, is not the prettiest. Wait, let's see if I can. I mean, it's cute, but as a standalone piece of jewelry, I'd never ever think of wearing that. But I thought this looked cute kind of as a shabby chic sort of option. Sorry, I've got dogs. One moment, please. Hey, Kinnicky. Come on. You have to go out. Bark out there. There you go. So sorry about that. Dogs sometimes will just be lazing around, and then all of a sudden they're up and barking. This was one of the pieces of jewelry that I got, and it was like some kind of a brooch or whatever. And it's really just kind of ugly. And I've had these for years, and I really have not known what I want to do with them. But I just got done making some paper the other day. You can see that that video is just from a couple of weeks ago, and it is super easy botanical paper and traveler's notebooks. So I made papers like these, and those are out of dried flowers and glue and just various things, so you might want to check that out. I thought it would look really pretty just to put like a belly band type thing and add that, and I feel like it goes really perfect. It is not perfect here. It's got some of the paint chipped off, but I'm okay with that, really. So there's that. And then, like I said, this one, it's just this weird charm or this weird thing. I don't know what it is. Maybe a brooch, or I hope it wasn't an earring, you guys. But let's get you in a little closer. But all I did was just take some of my botanical paper and cut out 2 circles, get some of my lace and burlap ribbon, and then a little bit of burlap, and just put it together like this, and I think it would be really cute, like in a shabby chic sort of, a muted colored junk journal. I think it would probably really go just fine in mine, or maybe in the cover, on the cover or something, or I don't know, I'm not sure. Go on any page, whatever. It just looks really cool because it looks vintagey, and then it's got the burlap and all that. So anyway, there's that. This one I just did today. I did some more of my botanical paper, poked some holes, ripped a few little pieces of paper, and took some old lace that I had. And then this is actually a big giant button, and it's actually a suede button. It's really cool. It's very simple, but it could be dressed up in other ways if you wanted to. But I tend to, when I'm working with making ephemera and everything, I don't usually finish it completely, because I want to be able to do what I want to do with it to make it match what I need it for. So, you know, I might just make it, you know, shabby blue and gray, you know, and then just let it chill for a while. This one is actually a charm, but it didn't have, sorry, it didn't have the, like anything in it. Didn't have a stone or anything. So if you have made jewelry or whatever, or if you have a piece of jewelry that's missing the stone or something like that, you can just actually, in here, all this is a piece of paper, right? And then this is just a charm, and all I did was, it was a necklace charm, and all I did was to remove the little loop that the necklace would feed through, and then I just added that there. And this is an old earring of my mom's. Let's see if I could get you closer. This is actually really cute. And so this is like a post earring here, and what I did was I bent the post back. I don't know if you can see that. Kind of hard with this string here. I bent the post back right here and made it a loop, and then tied it onto the end of a piece of my my string here. So there's that. This is two pieces. So this was something I bought, but this was just a button. And you can remove buttons from clothing and things like that so that they will look like, you know, like really pretty additions to any of this kind of brass stuff if you use that at all. These are buttons that I removed from clothing, and this is an earring. So these are two buttons that I removed from some clothing, and then this is an earring that I used to just kind of dress up the spine of this book. And it's my Alice in Wonderland book, and I thought it looked really cool. Also, I had a charm that was over the side that was a heart. Keep going out of the thing, but I don't seem to have that right now. So let's go ahead and look at a few more things, and then we'll go ahead and play around with some stuff and look at the stuff I have, and then let's see. I lost one of these. This right here, let's see, let's go this way. This right here was a piece from some kind of jewelry. I don't remember what it was, but it's very pretty. It's very pointy and stuff. And what I did was I pasted it onto a button, and I made it into a button brad. And so when you want to use a button brad, or when you want to add something, fasten it to your junk journal, you can make a button brad. And so I'll show you how to do that. But here's an example of one. This is just a regular brad, right? And I glued this post earring onto it, but what I did was I cut the post off first, right? This is also an earring, and I made this little flower out of tissue paper. And what I did was I poked the earring through on the back, you can see. And so now I can just fasten this whole thing onto a page, and it'll just be this really cute little elegant item here. And then this one was just it wasn't a bead, but it was just something, it was probably a clip-on earring, honestly. And so what I did was I cut off whatever was on the back, and I made a button brad out of it. I'm not quite sure what I would ever use this for. I'd probably use it in like a journal, like a dark journal or something like that. So anyway, that's what I wanted to share with you. I have used, actually, I think I probably have a few more things to show you. Oh, yes. So I've taken buttons off of things, but you can just as easily use like charms or earrings or whatever, you know, to make little tulle flowers if you want to. Again, this is another of my tissue paper flowers, and this is an earring. So I just took the post off, and I can just glue that right in there, which I'll probably do today. And let's see what else. I took out some stuff to do today with you, and then I also took out some stuff to show you, and I kind of mixed it all up. So this is one that is just a button from clothing, but again, like I said, you can always use these clip-on earrings. Oh, I think I was holding that upside down, but clip-on earrings, or you know, just charms. I found this in a in like a old jewelry bag. I bought like a whole bunch of old jewelry at one time, and now I've got a whole bunch of my mom's too. But you could use something like this for something like that. You can cut this off with some wire cutters, and that would work out just fine, really. Okay, so this is a tiny journal that I made, and this is a button, but like I said, and this is probably an earring. So it's easy to take these things and just you know, add them in a cluster, and for some reason it looks right. It looks good. Here's the suede button, another of those suede buttons, and this is how it is on the back, and you can see it has the little wire thing, and I just cut those off. To do that, you would want to use something like this, and this is kind of a really strong pair of pliers. And if you want to know where to get these, I got them off Amazon, and you can go to my Amazon storefront. I think it's like amazon.com Christy Stone or something like that. If you really want it, let me know and I'll get it for you. But this is like for $6. This is the best pair I've ever had, and I've done quite a bit of odd stuff with using those pliers. Okay, so here is another example of using a charm, and this is a really cute tassel that would go, you know, on your junk journal. I'm sorry, you know what, let me just zoom this out, because as much as I like to be close, I keep going out of the camera. So, but this is just a really cute multi-ribbon kind of item, you know, that you could actually clip on, because this is a clip onto your junk journal, and that would be really pretty. And here's another one. Some stuff is stuck to it, so forgive me for this taking a bit of time. Oh, what I wanted to show you on this one is you can remove beads from, you know, old pieces of jewelry, old earrings or something like that, and you can remake that into like pretty long beads using charms and other items, you know, that you would take off of a piece of jewelry. And I'll kind of, if I can remember, I'll demonstrate something like that, how to take apart a piece of jewelry, and what to save and whatnot. And then this is just another one of these charms. Doesn't have anything I'm sorry, this is a tassel, and it doesn't really have anything on it from jewelry, but you can see how simple it would be, to add something like that, you know. So, anyhow, those I think are the things I wanted to show you that I had. There might be a little bit more. But, like I said, you can do these long beads. And they're just really pretty. So I'm trying to stick to the topic, button brads and jewelry, and how to use your old jewelry. But as you can see, I use quite a few different things in my junk journal stuff. So anyhow, yeah, that's all I'll say about that, because if I start getting into everything else, I'll forget to show you how to use the jewelry. So anyhow, there's all that. And let me set some things aside that don't need to be out right now. Some of these things I want to actually use. And so, all right. So, yes, I'm actually using broken jewelry for my junk journals, and I did show a few journals that I had, some things that I had used, some old things in, like, this is like a button. You can also use, if you had something like this, for a charm. This is a just kind of a weird item that came in the broken jewelry, and so I actually just made something kind of shabby chic out of that. I'll show you a couple other things really quick so I'm not boring other people who have already seen this. And so I had this, I think it was a brooch. It was like a clip-on brooch, and I added it to this. I know, I love to repurpose. This is a button like this one, but I cut the wire off and just made kind of a little ribbon. And here's how I used some buttons from clothing, which that's not jewelry, but I also used an earring, just to kind of decorate my little Alice in Wonderland book. So getting back into focus here, I'm going to go ahead and make a few things, and I don't have any real plans right now, so I'm really just kind of going off the cuff. So if you have any questions, just let me know. We're going to see what we can make out of some of this weird stuff. So some of the things that I want to use today are this medallion. I'd like to use this. I may want to use this. And this is, it looks like it's a link to a bracelet. This one, is a charm. This one looks like an earring, like it was, an earring at one time. Also, I want to do something with this. So these are, forgive me, my camera doesn't auto. Yeah, it's so fun to watch. I really just love repurposing things, and I am like a paper freak. So this is one of those little lapel kind of pins, those kind that everybody gives you. And, there's nothing that great about it. This is quality cabinet hardware, Bellwith, since 1894. So, I don't really probably want to put anything in my junk journal like that, but you can use it as a base for sure. And I think this was like something from a bracelet, like an old bracelet. This is like probably the ugliest earring I've ever seen in my life. I hope nobody here made this and it made it to the to the to the thrift store, and here you are now listening to me talk about how ugly it is. This is also something that's kind of, you know, these are not things that I would normally like to use, you know, but I just want to show you all the different things that you can do. So this one's a Christmas, so I probably won't use that, but all of these things like came off of pieces of jewelry, or they are pieces of jewelry. And you know, there's just a lot that can be done with them. Here's one of these things without the gem in it, or the, and you can just put like a piece of paper and a teeny little something in there, you know, whatever you want. Do you use or create paper beads with them? Well, I can use paper beads with them. I was just kind of showing, but you know what? I have some made paper beads, and let me see if I can put something like that together. Okay. But so like I said, I'm really just gonna kind of go off the cuff and just play around. Yeah, totally. Oh, you know, I've not used gilding really, you know. I'm not sure how to use that, but I'm pretty sure I'm probably going to want to learn at some point. Oh boy, a lot of this jewelry is just kind of all together. Oh, look at how cute this is. I won't do anything with that. This Snoopy, I love it. Okay, let's put Christmas away. But there's this really cool, some of these really cute charms. I don't know where these came from, but anyway, I did buy a few years back, probably like 10 years ago, I bought a whole bunch, like 2-gallon bags of broken jewelry, and now I also have like a bunch of my mom's jewelry that okay, I think I might even have that. You know, but I have a whole bunch of my mom's jewelry that, you know, I didn't really want to get rid of, but I also don't really want to wear it, you know. So, you know, I'm here thinking about that stuff. What can I use it for? So here's something interesting right here. So, first off, I wonder if I would be able to find that gold that I have really quick. I'd like to also use this. So while you're looking at all my stuff, if you have any ideas for any of it, that'd be great. I can try things as long as I have the stuff for it. I don't know if I'll be able to find that. It's just such a, like an odd item. That I don't really use very much, so. I'll have one more place to look real quick. No, I don't see it. Oh well, no problem. That'll just have to be a different day. I used to actually make jewelry. Oh, nice. Nice. it's so nice and satisfying to take something like this and just do something with it that that you actually want to wear, don't you think so? So let me, I think what I want to do is actually demonstrate taking apart a piece of jewelry. Oops. I really should have picked this before. But I mean, it's because I know that some people are like really wanting to use old jewelry, and what would they do, you know? How would they go about what's important to save, you know, all that kind of stuff. And I've taken apart most of it really, but I know I've probably got a necklace around here somewhere that can be recovered. That something. So, do you have any like goth friends out there? Oh boy, this is. I have a few pieces that I think are really cool. All right, this whole thing is just a big. It's like your kid's hair after they haven't brushed it for a long time. I'm trying to find something that has like a few different kinds of components to it so that you can see, you know, what that is to take it apart and how you can use the pieces and stuff like that. Oh boy, look at this. I don't think I'm going to get that. Well, maybe I can do this. Maybe I can just cut a piece off of it. If I can locate it once again. Oh, this is actually a really good piece right here to do that with. So let me just cut a little piece off of it, because it doesn't look like I am going to be untangling this. Looks like I'm going to be cutting pieces off instead. So if anybody has ever, you know, gotten their grandma's costume jewelry, you know, I mean, here's the thing, is that, you know, I don't know about you guys, but when I am going through things and looking to get rid of some, deciding what I want to keep and what I don't, you know, I always want to keep other people's things because, like my grandma's and my mother's, you know, because they passed and everything like that. But I always want to keep that stuff because I feel like, excuse me, I feel like I'm throwing them away, you know, not the things, but the actual people. And so, and it's, I know that's really stupid, but, you know, I don't know, it was a piece of them at some point, you know. And so, you know, I just, you know, have like guilt about that sometimes. So what I settled on with all of my mom's things and my grandma's, some of my grandma's things, is that I am going to use it in keepsake journals, you know, whether that be mine or, you know, I sell it or something like that, you know. I just want to, I want to use it, put it to use, because the honest truth is that probably nobody is going to wear these pieces, you know, or whatever. So they're just too old-fashioned, or, you know, they're just costume jewelry really, or something like that. So here's one that I just took all of the beads off of, and so look, you can see that you have let me scooch over this way so I can be in the middle a little bit more. You have two really cool buttons or beads, and I don't think you guys can see this, but there's like some really cool etching in it. Then you've got these spacers. Let me get a drink of water so I don't. And then these are also spacers, and these are all just tiny beads or whatever. I don't know if you call these spacers or not. I don't really know all of the jewelry lingo, just a little bit of it. So, you know, you have like 4 different kinds of things, or, you know, now that you can use and, you know, position other ways, you know, and use. Um, that gold and blue oval shaped one. Do you mean this? This one? Yeah. It actually has a, this is one that I definitely would want to use that wax, the gold wax on. Um, so I think I'm going to save that. But, uh, but yeah, that'll be really fun to use. Okay, so then, uh-oh, I'm losing some more little things. Okay, so here's another piece right here that was probably breaking. And this has lots of little like seed beads on it. And seed beads are like those kind of beads that are used in like Indian jewelry or Native American jewelry. I'm sorry, pardon me. I am part Native American, and I've always just used that term, but um, you know, but I understand that, you know, and I don't want to hurt anyone's feelings by using it. But at any rate, it is used for Native American jewelry, like the bracelets and, you know, all of those, you know, those strips of beads, all in a really cool pattern, you know. That's what these are. These are the seed beads, the kind of seed beads that are used for that. Some of them are just, they're more like cylinder beads, and I'm not sure that those are used in the same way, but um, anyway, so I'll just pull all these. So now I've got all of these little beads, right? And I've got a few more. So all you really want to do is pull all these off of here and then just separate them all out and see what you've got, you know. Because likely you're going to get, you know, some cool big beads, some cool little beads, some cool spacers, and you're also going to get some of the, I forget what the term is, but anyway, the pieces that you would need to actually make a piece of jewelry. Okay? There's a word for that, and I just can't think of it right now. So you just want to separate them all out and see what you've got, and then just start playing around with it if you want to create something with the small beads. So let's see. I used to get into such trouble gathering all my grandma's jewels and toting them around in her purse in the house. That's so cute. What a sweet memory. All right, so this I would maybe use, I think I would keep this one intact rather than taking all of these pieces off here. Oh, this is a kind of a knot there. But because I think that, oh, sorry. I think that the, you know, the chain is just as worn as the charms themselves. And I think it's really cool. It'd be really cool, like on the spine of a junk journal. But I think what I would do is perhaps shorten the length between these, you know. to something like that instead. So this could also be used in a tassel. So this could be, you know, something that just hangs on a tassel. I think that would look really cool, actually. Let's see if I can find it. Yeah. So let's pretend that this actually matches. But it would be cool to just kind of hang, to add that in, right, to a tassel of various kinds of really pretty ribbons and things and beads and, you know, hardware and all that. So I would probably keep this one together. So, I mean, really, any piece of jewelry that you have, I mean, I don't want to take them all off because the problem is that they won't really stay together. I have to find a place to put it. I think I do actually have a place. I forgot that I have like some of these little containers. I just got done giving all of my candle making and soap making stuff away to a friend who makes really great soaps, and I just knew I wasn't gonna be doing it anymore, you know. It's too much things to do. For now, I'm just gonna go ahead and put all of these together. These things come in handy. They're really nice for holding small things. And since I haven't taken anything else apart, I don't think I'll use any more. But, you know, there's all kinds of different things, these like weird charms. Actually, this charm is, now that I'm looking at it, it says, I don't know what it says. But this is a constellation, if I am not mistaken. So anyway, there's all kinds of these things. These are also spacers, you know, but I'd rather just keep them all on the chains that they're on, so I don't lose them, and then when I need them, I will know where those are. So let's make something. Let's just make some ephemera. I'm just gonna kind of position things around. Excuse me, you guys. It's 8:27, and you know I'm 58 years old, and it's like bedtime for me. But I wanted to hop on and do this because I just my friend over at Call Me Glitter asked me if I could give her a list of different things you can use jewelry for. And I said I can do you one better, and I will make you a video. So this is just a roll that I made, a fabric scrap roll. And these are really fun to do. If you have scraps, you can make them out of paper or fabric or whatever. But these kinds of pieces like this sort of lend themselves to putting, you know, pieces of jewelry on it. And let's see. So I'm just gonna goof around a little bit. I'm not sure if I like this one with all the blue. Let me see. Let me see. This one's a little busy. Hang on just a second. man, when you get old, all kinds of weird stuff happens to your body and everything. Not fun. I mean, I think this would be really cute, you know, just as sort of a belly band. But anyway, I think to make it easier, I'll just probably use paper. But I do love these, and I do want to use them in some way. This is kind of a cool thing. Is it could be sort of a I mean, it looks like it could be a closure, but honestly, it's not. It's more of a, it looks like it came off of something that was like that, like a belt or something. And so I kind of like the way it looks this way, so it would be more of an interesting item. But this either it came off a belt or it came off of like a watch band, you know, so that falls into this category as well. Let's see. This looks like it would be really cool on, I don't know what this shell is doing though. What is this supposed to be behind the shell? I don't think I like this shell at all on here, but I like the other stuff. That'd be cute on a tassel. So I wonder if I have anything I can actually put on the front of this. So this is, it's a little bright for this. This is like an earring. I think it came off an earring, and this is a little pad that I made. It's just a tear off pad, just made out of, you know, some recovered paper, tablet kind of thing. And so this could actually go on here and just be kind of a nice little addition, you know what I mean, to the front. Now it has a couple of holes up here, so I don't know if I would want something to cover that or what I would want to do, but I think the whole idea of the, excuse me, of these three different colors of metal is kind of a cool idea on this paper. And this is a paper that I got from Michaels. You know how they have their they have those big thick 12 by 12 papers. Often they'll have, you know, some shiny paper, you know what I mean, some kind of metallic paper, and that's what this is. But it's actually really cool, and I think this would go really well, but I'm not sure. I think I'd want to do something with these holes, and I don't know what that's going to be just yet, so I'm going to set this aside. Let me grab so here are some of the papers that I made that I'd like to use today, and these are actually the botanical papers that I made about 2 weeks ago. It was on a live stream called Super Easy Botanical Paper plus Traveler's Notebooks, and what I really did was Traveler's Notebook covers, more like, but look at how pretty this is, just made with napkins and paper and glue. So I went through and I made all these different kinds of paper, and I think some of these would work really well. So I think what we're going to do right now is to make, let's make a dangle. So I'm going to use this size here. It's like a two inch, And I'm going to cut out a couple of these. Cool, those didn't touch. All right, and this is relatively thin for what it is. This is actually coffee dyed paper, or actually drawing paper, like old vintage drawing paper with tissue paper on top, like, you know, gift wrap tissue paper. So I would like to make a cool dangle using this, but I want it to be a little bit thicker, I think. And I want to add some other things to it, but I'm not sure what. Maybe it'll just be fine just like that, but I don't know. I don't know. It might be really good to add something. I'm going to use something like this. And here are some other interesting items. I don't know. Maybe I could use something like that. I don't really know. But this is sort of how I always work, is I just start pulling things out that I think are interesting and just looking at everything and, you know, trying to figure out, what would look good together, you know? What would be cool? I think that's too much. I don't know. It's if I use things with a lot of texture or design on it, I think it'll clash. So I think that's a little too thick for what I want, but anyway, let's just take a look at things. And I also want to get some of my ribbon. And I have red and everything, but I'm really kind of loving you know, my buff colors and that sort of thing. So I kind of think this is a cool color to use. And so I think I'm not going to glue that on or anything like that. I think what I'm going to do is build this and then add like dangly stuff on. So first off, I think I want to cut some of this. These are not the best scissors for this, but that's okay. Adding adhesive to pretty wrapping paper over a flyer and cutting out shapes for dangles would be cool. Yep, exactly. Like those thick pieces of mail that we all get, especially around like election time and everything. Because that is very thick, almost cardboardy, you know what I mean? And I just think that's a great idea. Where did I just put my little things though? Did I pull them away? I don't know where my little circles just went. I feel like I probably pulled them off of the table, so I'll go ahead and cut out a couple more because it's easy to do. It's not a problem. And I just love this paper. It's so cool. You know, it's really kind of old-fashioned looking. It looks like more yellow than it is, or maybe it does actually look like this. I don't know. But at any rate, we're going to go with that. And then I want to reinforce it with some, not that, with some cardstock. And so let me find just a piece of cardstock. Any piece of cardstock will probably do just fine. I have a hole right next to my desk. I have this whole bucket of scraps of so many different kinds. So all I need to do is find something that is actually cardstock. Oh, guys, here's another thing that you can actually, I know I'm going off somewhere else, but this is another thing that you can use for your junk journals. Like, this would be a really cool, like, trim. And, you know, this would be a really neat paper to use. And then you can also use the back in the way that I am going to use it now. And, you know, it has writing on it inside and everything, but, you know, like I was saying before, the truth is that you can use all of these keepsakes, you know, in a nice keepsake journal, and, you know, you would still have those items, you know. I mean, who's going to go through, I mean, maybe somebody will go through every 20 years or so and read the cards and all those different things. But the truth is that it's so much more of a waste to, unless you just have, you know, a lot of space, it's kind of a waste to use, to keep all of your old stuff that you're only going to look at, you know, every 20 years. And, you know, rather than just going ahead and using it where you will look at portions of it, you know, lots of times in the year, you know. So that's just that's my opinion. So, but, you know, by no means am I trying to get you to get rid of, you know, precious things. Of course, you know, there's lots and lots of precious things that I chose not to get rid of, you know, from my mom. But there was just so much paper and so much stuff, you know, like old jewelry things and stuff that were just, my mom was just kind of a buyer. She bought things, you know, lots of things. And so, excuse me, it is either going to the Goodwill or I'm using it in my journals. So there you go. Let me just add some little staples onto here. So I see that I've zoomed way out. Now you guys can see that I'm in my pajamas. So just to let you guys know that pajamas are my retirement attire. So, you know, often I'm wearing pajamas when I'm doing live streams and stuff because that's what I want to do. That's what I want to do with my life right now. But yeah, I used to keep all of those flyers and stuff, but now that I have so many things, I can't keep those so much. But if you don't have access to a whole bunch of different items that that you could, you know, cover up with you know, coffee dyed paper or, you know, digital papers or anything like that, you know, save your mail, save your envelopes. It's just so worthwhile, you know. I mean, don't save everything, guys, you know. You don't need to save every single thing. but because then that can get really addicting too, you know, to just have all of that. Okay, so I've got like a base here, right? And I do have the option to go ahead and ink the edges, and when I do have that option, most of the time I do. And the reason why is because there's a lot of white edge here that I don't really want to see. I forgot to do it all the way around here, but then, you know, I guess I can just kind of go in here like this. It's pretty much okay if a little bit of the ink gets on the ribbon. It's not a big deal. And so there we go. Oh, guess what? I found my circles. Anyhow. So now I have the choice of the things that I would like to do with this. And so I can, oh, you know what I might want to do is remove this. Right. What do I want to do? Yeah, I think I am going to go ahead and remove this. And this is just the little ring at the top. And whenever you're doing this, cover this up. Don't touch your fingers to the blades because you don't want to cut yourself, but you also don't want for you know, the excess pieces to fly into your eye or something, because that can happen. Okay, so now what I'm going to do, I don't know, I keep trying to use those and I just can't seem to. So I'm going to go ahead and just glue this onto here. And really we could stop here, you know. And normally, like I was saying before, I normally do just sort of make a basic design, you know, a basic item. And then I put it away, and then if I need to embellish later because I'm going to use it in a journal, then, oops, we're slipping here. Then, you know, I can, you know, add another color or something to it. Let me just think. I brought all these things out and I'm just really not sure I want to use any of them. Okay, so one of the next things I want to do is use this. One of these, because I have so many of these that I kept. My parents were like total charity people, so they were always getting little things like this, plus from work and, you know, stuff like that. And I got rid of so many of them, but some of them, you know, that were just, you know, regular circles or squares or whatever, I kept because I thought that that would be more useful. So let's see. I can put another piece over the top of this. But hang on 1 second. I think I'm going to do something. So here's the problem, is that there's these extra pieces here and it doesn't necessarily fit right inside. It would be better if it did, but it doesn't. So I think I'll skip that, but maybe, you know, look at some other pieces that I have that might be a little bit better choices. see some of these. My brain wants to go like in a completely different direction. So this would be kind of cool with maybe some, maybe if I take the jump ring off, I can save that. And I can actually put this inside. And just let this be a place where, oh, you know, what would actually work is perhaps some of these seed beads would be kind of cool. And so let me just take a pinch of them. You really don't need that many. You know, I probably just need one of these and a couple of these seed bead colors, and just go with that. And these little pear pins are so cool because they're super thin, you know, way thinner than regular safety pins. So you could actually get the seed beads on there. And they're just such a small little item, you know, that they're pretty subtle. But they also are, they're not like super big to where they're going to be like loud and, you know, over decorative. But, oops, let me see if I can. This one's going to be a tricky one. But you see how, let me zoom in. You see how cute that looks? Just these little, teeny little. Hang on. I really want you guys to see this. But these teeny little seed beads, right? You can barely see them, but they are decorative and cute. And then, you know, you can add this. I don't know if this would be the right thing to add it to, but maybe this would be a cute thing to add it to. You know, maybe just add it to the ribbon. Oh, I really must get a camera that will do this better. All right, so, oops, what's happening here? All right, so that's pretty cute, you know. I think it's really cute like that, you know. And then, you know, later on, if I want to add more ribbon or I want to reposition this or something, I can do that. And so let's see what I can do with this one here. I've been thinking, but it's almost like I really sort of need to scrounge around in my stuff some more. But what about this? Let's see. Could I do kind of a little steampunky kind of thing? Maybe. If you guys are interested in using reclaimed items, that's like one of my favorite things, is to reclaim items and use them in journals. So that would be, I don't know, a little bit less than interesting to me. But, you could see how you can use these kinds of things to just put together something, you know. Um, you can use something like this, to put together a flower of some sort, or where's the other one that I did? I feel like I brought so many things out that I just haven't really, how about that for a piece of jewelry? I feel like I'm just going to grab a whole bunch of stuff here. Okay. So, I got some Halloween things here. But here's another one of those, that is, just like a lapel pin kind of thing. But that might actually be able to be made into something that is really interesting. And so for me right now, I'm kind of having some trouble figuring out what to do. I have ideas, but sometimes it's hard for me to, call them up on the spot. And so maybe I shouldn't live stream, but hey, here I am. So this might be kind of a neat thing to do. I really wish I could put this flat. Maybe I can. Oh yeah, so this is the other one that I made with something similar to this, but it has to be the right vibe, so let me scoot some of this stuff and stick this in here. And then see, I can like position things on here and see if it would be cute or not. I mean, it really just kind of depends on what you're doing in your journal, I wonder if I could do something with this one too. This, you guys, this is just so ugly. I'm so sorry if this is your vibe, but it isn't mine. But it's just so wild. It looks like something that somebody in the 80s made, right? Because 80s was such a weird decade. So, but I almost feel like there's an idea here for this, and I am not thinking right now. Let me just think a little bit. Oh, you know what? These are interesting and could possibly go on something tonight. Oh, I have an idea. So I made a whole bunch of these little flowers out of tissue paper, that same one that I used over here for this thing. I made these flowers. So this would probably be a good way to, a good thing to glue onto the back, probably a smaller one. But to glue onto the back so that I can stick these into pages. However, you know, it'd probably be just as well to glue them on too. It just depends on what you're wanting to create here. Let me see what I'm looking at here. Do I have... No, that one's actually a really cool one. Okay, I'm going to let that simmer for a second, but I'm going to show you a couple things. These are post earrings, and really post earrings have a lot of options. Some of these are just using them, you know, as a post and putting them in something. And I could, let's see, does this go? Yeah, this would kind of go. I could do something like cut the post a little shorter. And pop this in. I wonder if I'd want to do that, or just pop this in right here. Let me give it a little help. Okay. And these are just kind of a dime a dozen, right? I mean, unless the jewelry that you're working with is actually worth something, you know, you don't want to, you know, cut it and, you know, do anything weird to it. But you know, but a lot of this is just, it's just the cheap jewelry, you know. So another thing you can do, one second. You can bend the posts, right? And you can create hang on one second. Let me grab a plier. Okay, so what you can do is kind of go, this is like tiny work though, so just understand that, you know, but all I'm doing is just putting it in, putting the post between this and just kind of wrapping this around, sorry, so that I end up with an item that looks like this, right? It has like a little, it doesn't have a closed loop, but you can do that. But at this point though, this can be something added. Oh goodness, look. I could have added those there. That would have been perfect. But you can add this to, you know, well, I wouldn't do that. Hold on. Let me see what I want to add, what I'd want to add this to. Because it kind of becomes more of a charm. Oh, I know why it's seeming weird, is that I didn't do this bend, this part of the bend. So yeah. So let's see. there's probably a better way to do this, but the point is that you can create something that can where you can just add all of these little earrings. Okay, some of the ways that I have done this is probably more specifically with something like this, you know, and so you have your shell, right, like this, and then if you want to perhaps add this to something that is more straight, and this is kind of what I did with this one here, is I bent it and then I added them in. I poked them in. So if I want to add that in there, all I need to really do is to kind of press it closed, because it's still open, right? It's still open, and you just need, you know, a couple of pairs of pliers. I mean, you even could, oh, cool, I just actually made it even closer. So, like, we're just pretending here that I'm going to want to add this, but it'll just slip right in like that. And then if you wanted to, you could take a plier and just clamp it down, right? So that it is actually closed, you know, versus sitting open like this. Okay. Let me see if I can find another pair of earrings that I think would work here. I may or may not have some right here. And truly, now that I'm thinking about it, it might just be better if I had something that I could glue on, because if I put earrings on the inside, it would cause that to, especially the earring backings, right? So So this one was like a pearl cufflink, and so, you know, same idea. You can do all sorts of different weird little things with all of these strange pieces that you collect. And so I used to kind of make a lot of work with a lot of copper, and that's actually really fun to work with. Let's see, I even made this. Isn't this weird? Oh, this isn't really one that I wanted to show. This one right here. This earring. This was a tricky one for me, but it's like barbed wire kind of, you know. But, you know, any stuff like this, like if you have hanging earrings, definitely they would go, you know, it would be really cool to actually hang them off of the side of something, like create a little hole here. Maybe I will do that. Hey, how you doing, Desiree? I'm just goofing around, you know, just talking about how I use old, like, costume jewelry, old jewelry that I've collected, you know, in my junk journals. And so I already showed a bunch of things. You'll have to catch the video. um, from the beginning, you know. But I think this actually also needs a little bit of ribbon. A little teeny bit. Teeny little bit. Something. I don't know. That doesn't quite go. What about something over here? But yeah, so I have a lot of stuff, you know, you've heard me talk about this, Desiree, you know. I have a lot of stuff, you know, to use that I've collected over at my mom's house and stuff. Oh, I think I like this one. This is the one I like. And I just have this overflow, you know, of things. And let me zoom out a little bit. And so I'm trying to figure out how to use these things. And somebody had asked me today to give her some ideas on items that she, or ways that she can use the jewelry, that the old jewelry that she's got, the broken jewelry and stuff like that. And so I figured I'd hop on and just do a couple things. I showed a lot of ideas of things that I've already done, and then now I'm just kind of going through and messing around with some of the stuff that I have, and just kind of, you know, thinking it through, you know. But it's just so cute, you know. It's really very cute. I think maybe I'd like this to hang a little differently. I wonder if we can get it to do that. So, you know, of course you're going to have to just play around with stuff and everything, but you know, but it's just like an old piece of something, you know. I think this is like super old, like something that was used for like hemming, and I'm not familiar with what it is, but it's really cute as ribbon. I really like it. So anyhow, there we go. I still just want to tip a little bit of this off. Not my favorite scissors. Let's try the other ones. No, these ones are also not my favorite scissors. All right. So, you know, just by adding a little something here, you know, like a little earring, a long dangly earring or something, it really does spruce up my little paper pad. So I like that a lot. So I kind of wanted to use this on that paper pad, but then I changed my mind because I really like that. But I'm probably going to wind down here in a few and just let this stand as is, because I think I've talked about a whole lot of different things, and I think I want to take these off. These beads are like plastic pink beads, and I can do without those. But I mean, this is just some ribbon, you know, and this weird metal piece would be really cute, but I think it needs something else. It needs something else. Set some of this stuff aside. Like another color. I wonder. Do you guys like the combination of white and off-white? I absolutely love that. I don't like that square kind of thing. Maybe we just need another piece of my pretty paper, huh? Only this time we'll do. Desiree, you'd be so proud of me. I made a whole bunch of paper. I don't know if you caught that video, but I ended up making paper with old drawing paper, vintage drawing paper, and tissue paper, napkins, I don't know what I did with this. Tissue paper and napkins, tissue paper, and then some dried flowers and stuff. Yeah, I like that too. I do like the earthy colors right now. I almost kind of feel like I want to maybe cut one of these out in a circle, but I don't know. Thank you. You're actually the one that got me so interested in doing, in making paper. And it's really, really kind of one of those things that when I am, what is this one? I guess this one's like color or something like that. When I'm thinking about like things to do, making paper is like one of my favorite things to do. Okay. I don't think I add any of this to that yet. But anyhow, yeah, I think I've probably overstayed my welcome here on the live stream. I just wanted to hop on and just goof around for a little while and give you guys some ideas. If you have any questions or anything, you guys can, of course, leave a comment here, and I will answer those. If you want to see how I made the botanical paper, there's a video. Super easy botanical paper and plus traveler's notebooks. It's actually the live stream that I did before this one. And also, if you are here, Yvonne, and if you are here, Juju, both of you guys won. And I haven't heard from anybody yet, and you know, the holidays and just everything happened, but I do want to get these out to you guys. So anyway, I'll just mention it in my videos until we actually do that. So I'm glad you caught me too, Desiree. I'm really appreciative that you come to my live streams and hang out. You know, you're like a real big inspiration for me. So, you know, I feel lucky. All right. Thanks, Sonia and Desiree. And I know there's somebody else here, other people too. So I want to say thank you for being here. I hope that you got something out of this. Again, ask questions if you want. And if you like to do trash to treasure stuff, this is a good channel for that, because I love doing that kind of stuff. Yeah, and so anyway, I'll see you guys next time. Bye. Oh, thanks, Desiree. That's what we're here for, right? To inspire each other.